Oh, let's see. It says I'm live. So welcome to the bait room. I'm in a little different spot than normal here. I am actually I've got the lights moved around a little bit and the camera. Try to get the best viewing experience for everybody here on the channel. Welcome to Saturday Night Live. If you've never joined the channel, this is a Saturday night. I do a live stream about 7 o'clock, sometimes later, and we talk about fishing baits and fishing stuff and the fishing world in general, and I answer lots of questions. I'm trying to get this light right. Let me take the brightness down just a bit and see if that's better, because I don't... Oh yeah, that's lit up good. That's not blinding me. So I've been doing good. Let me get on to YouTube so I can pull this up here, and I will share it over on Facebook as well. So we're going to talk about some old school baits, guys. And we're going to talk about the Bassmaster Classic, the biggest fishing tournament in the world still. And I've got a really good friend that's been on the channel that's fishing it, Matt Robertson. He's been practicing, and we're going to talk about some fantasy picks and all that. What's up, Brad? What's up, Frank? Let me pop this chat out real quick, guys. Pop out chat, and I'm going to share this. Embed. See if I can do this. See if this will work. If I embed this on my Facebook page, how this works. Actually, let's just share it to normal Facebook. And what's up, Monty McWilliams? What's up, Rick? I do want to let you guys know, I apologize for yesterday. Obviously, my cell phone is working great now. What's up, John? I don't know why it was locking me out. Even Travis messed with it. And I also want to let you guys know, I did not mean to sound too much like an infomercial. So I've known Travis for a long time. He's a good guy, and I've always told him I'll help him out with the sticks. And he sent me a set of rods. So yes, I do feel a little obligated to make sure I mention them and talk about them, because I have used them all, and they're really good rods. And I'm not going to explain myself any further, but I did feel like I was being a little too infomercial, but the main goal was streaming it on the Stix Instagram and letting the people that ask those questions know the most. So, doing what you know, guys, as always, you know, I am no BS. I am a one-man show. I'm not sponsored. I do work with several companies, and those are companies I really believe in their products. I mean, you can see behind me, Strike King, Spro, 6 Cents, all these people, Scottsboro Tackle. The reason I got them hanging up on my walls is because I use them all the time. You don't see a bunch of stuff back here that I don't use. So, what's up, Christopher? Down on our balls, man. I gotta get your stuff out to you, dude. I'm so sorry. But guys that won the Hog Farmer stuff last week, I'm going to post office Monday. I've been working a lot. Got it packaged up, ready to get this out to you. Well, I tell you what. Bruce Pearl was a great coach for Tennessee, and I'll be honest with you, unfortunately, he did some things at Tennessee that weren't perfect, and now he's at Auburn. So things happen. All right, just a second. I will be ready, and here we go. All right, close, and let's see that chat. Oh man, I just messed up. All right, live chat is up, so now I can read this stuff better instead of have it stare at my cell phone all night. So I'll answer a few questions before we get started. Is it my screen or are you blurry tonight? Let's see. See if this helps out a little bit, Monty. I'll see if I can fix the lighting a little bit. I have not tried Evolution lures. I have used, well, haven't used them, but I have seen them. I have seen them. They look cool. It's not something I'm probably going to stacking my tackle box. Got some cool ideas. I think multi-wired spinnerbaits are really cool. My buddy Brent Anderson makes one. So I'm going to stick with his. But yeah, B-Lat has done awesome. B-Lat has done awesome. So if you guys don't follow Brian Latimer over on YouTube, you might want to do that because he may win this FLW event. So anyways, I'll answer a few questions and get to... Man, everybody, y'all obsessed with Scott Martin. Scott's a great fisherman, but y'all, it is crazy how many people, you know, mention him now. I used to didn't hear much of Scott Martin, but that's great for him. My buddy Terry Bolton, I can't remember if Bolton made the cut or not, but he had a big run today. So I'll answer a few questions. No problem, Jack. I understand, buddy. I'm going to answer a few questions, and then we're going to talk about some of these right here. See if you remember what that guy right that is. Yeah. These are old school baits, man, that still catch fish. And this one is really old. Like, this came out of my grandpa's tackle box. So I've got to fix this light. It's still way too bright. What is my go-to cold water baits? I did a live stream on cold water baits not too long ago, so check that one out. So let me go ahead. It's exposure from the light. Baitman is giving a slight blurry effect on your face. Yeah. Alright, so let me answer a few questions and then we'll get on with this. What's my preferred shaky head rod? I use a shaky head on a bait caster, so I like a 7-foot medium heavy with the moderate fast tip. That's my favorite shaky head rod because I use a little bit heavier line and bait casting setup, so when I set the hook, I drive the hook home. Best rod for under $100. There's many rods at $100. There is no answer. So yeah, I want to answer that real quick. I've been seeing some videos lately. It's like the best reel you can buy for $100, the best rod you can buy for $150, and that's really, really clickbaity, and it drives me insane. Now I did a video. It's got 100-something thousand views. Said the best reels of 2017, and then by sales. So I actually had sales figures to back that up. Let's look up what the definition of the best is known by Webster's. I'm getting on my hot horse. I'm getting off subject, but this stuff is really been driving me insane. Because what I feel the best is not always the best. Let's see. I mean, you cannot even look up a freaking word on the dictionary in Google without getting sent to all kinds of just bogus crap. Word. Alright, the best. By Webster's, the definition of the best. Having good qualities in the highest degree, the most good, kind, desirable, suitable, most excellent, as the best man, the best road, the best clothed, best abilities. The most advanced, most correct, or complete. Utmost, highest endeavor state. So, if somebody says, what is the best reel? And they say, this is the best reel money can buy. It better have the best components, better have the best spool, the best gears, the best brake, the best paint job, best casting distance. It has to be everything hands over the competitor. And, you know, I see videos where it's like, this is the best $99 rod. And I'm here to tell you that rod's a piece of junk. Or, this is the best reel you can buy for $150. That's pretty subjective, and I would agree that some of those are probably price point wise very similar, but there's so much clickbait on YouTube, and people are trying to push sales so hard that you know, it just drives me insane. And there's 4 or 5 YouTubers out there now, and they're all pushing the same 4 or 5 companies, and all saying, well, you'd really help me out if you buy this. Dude, just be transparent and be like, yeah, I signed a contract with these people, and you know, they're paying me money to make sure I send stuff. Okay, you guys know. So anyway, I will answer. Now, if you put in your opinion, that changes things different. So let's get on with talking baits, and I will answer my opinion. The best rod for $99 would the Falcon Buku, just the normal one, is really, really good. I really like the Stix rod for $99. Dobbins Fury's 119. So you're around that point. Dobbins Fury is really good. Daiwa Tatula XT, the black Tatula rods, or the new cage rods are really nice. The Shimano SLX. What reel was it you said was designed to throw a lot of baits? I believe it was a Daiwa. Phoenix Maxim was a great rod, around $99. That is the Tatula SV. The SV spool allows it to spin a little bit faster, help you chunk smaller baits. I use it for about everything. I love that. So, all right, is a heavy power to overpower for throwing half-ounce red-eye shad? Medium heavy is what I like. Now, if you throw a heavy action rod that's a moderate fast tip to moderate tip, you can get away with that. So, but anything over 3/4, I would say you're good. Half-ounce might be a little too much. Let's see. Do you use ducket rods? I have used them. There's nothing here. Nothing against ducket. I actually kind of like the rods. The colors on rods, they don't help it perform any. So whatever color you like, that's cool. Let's see here. I'm gonna answer a few more questions. No, John, I don't think it's crazy. I think so many people watch YouTube and everyone's like, this is the best rod, or the ads in magazine, this is the best. And so they want an honest opinion of what is the best for, because if you're going to spend $100 or more, you want to be educated. So that's what I try to do here. Well, let's see. Sup, Baitman, just getting in here. There's more rain coming. Been raining all day. Yeah, it thunderstormed really bad here. So, let's see. Quantum Vapor Smoke Reels. Any good? Yeah, I actually like Quantum Smoke. It's a pretty nice reel. If you had one bait for ledge fishing, Kentucky Lake, would it be? You're going to see that bait on this episode of Baitman Live, because it's really hard to get in. It's old school. And it is not a crankbait. So, alright. Are the cage rods the same blank as the Tatula Elite rods? No, sir. What line do you use on the bait caster with the Shaky? I use 12-pound Sunline Assassin. I don't stray from Sunline when it comes to bottom contact. I love the Assassin. Best smokeless tobacco under $5 a can. Not asking for a friend. Welfare Bear Wintergreen has treated me well. I've actually cut down from like 1.5 cans today to like maybe half a can a day. So I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, man, I got a few old school spinnerbaits, Chris. I'll need to put some skirts on some stuff. So, what is your opinion about high-end soft swim baits? Top 3. Man, it's hard to make a list, but probably Osprey. I love the Babe. Let's just be honest. Kitech, Bass Tricks, and probably Scottsboro Tackle. That's my main 3 I throw, and that's what I have confidence in. That's what I've caught the most fish on. The Babe is probably right there too. I haven't caught as many, but I've caught a lot big fish on it. So, is 6 cents going to make a deep jerkbait? I'm not sure. We'll see though. A good half-ounce jig rod around $100. Man, that's a loaded question. What was the purple and chartreuse swim bait you had last night? I'll show it to you. Oh man, I about fell over. So it's not really purple and chartreuse. It just looks like that. It's almost like a pro blue. This right here as this is called Kentucky Lake Special. We throw this a lot in that muddy water. So a buddy of mine, Joey Nunnery on Facebook, he's the one that come up with this color. He's a good friend of mine, and he smokes them on this. So Ignite Swim Baits makes these, and when we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to have a great giveaway, and I will include some of these swim baits and Scottsboro swim baits and some Kitech. So just another great giveaway we'll do when I hit 10,000 subscribers. But I use a Revenge XL 3/4 ounce. Dude, Striking Diamond Flash spinnerbaits were awesome. Do you fish anything on mono? Top water and spinnerbaits. I throw those quite a bit. So, all right, let's start off with some old school baits. And I'm going to start out with just, this is going to be random. I've got boxes here and whatnot. So, somebody said, what is the one bait if you could throw in Kentucky Lake the rest of your life? I would tell you this right now. I've caught so many fish on this worm. It is so hard to get. This is the Lucky Strike original ringer. So this is actually a 9-inch worm, and if you can see, it's got little ribs on it right here. Monty, I appreciate it, buddy. You do not have to donate to me again. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate the love. But this is the 9-inch ringworm. You can still buy these, but they've changed something. This color is plum. I have literally, I'm looking at like 30 packs on the wall right behind me, but this color is awesome. The reason I like this so much, it's really good in brush piles. It comes through the brush really easy. These little ribs allow for that hook to come out, penetrating the bass's mouth. When it's hot, when it's tough, you'll always see me with this ringworm tied on. Now, early ledge season, I'll pull this on and put it a little heavier weight, and I'll actually hop it up and down like a jig, and I get a lot of bites. But that bait right there, from end of April all the way to October, I will have one tied on. So I know 6 Sense has got some plastics coming out, and I would love to remake this and put a little Baitman twist on it for some stuff that I think makes it even better. So if you can find them. And this is the original old packaging. They don't put them in this packaging anymore. So I love to stroke the ringworm. Alright, for some reason my light dimmed down. Dude, I wish I hadn't sold half the tackle I did 4 or 5 years ago. When I got burnt out on fishing, I sold a lot of stuff. So guys, do me a favor too. Make sure you mash that like button after the video and comment. But another old school bait that's also a worm and made by the same company. Got really famous because it's a big paddle tail worm. And I think the paddle tail's forgotten. This was really the first one to make it big. And originally it was made by a company called Harville Lures. And they were out of Clarksville, Tennessee, or Jackson, Tennessee, excuse me. And you'll notice this worm has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has a ton of little segments. And so when there's no current, the water's really slack, this little worm here just skirts along the bottom. This color is called cranapple. Very similar to plum, but it's got green flake instead of blue flake like plum. And this is an old school bait. My TVA guys know all about that. And there's not a lot of companies that pour a big paddle tail anymore. There's even guys in Florida that put a little 1/8 ounce weight and swim this worm. So that's old school. I keep those worms near me all the time. Obviously, I don't have a boat. We're working on that. We'll see what can happen this year. We're going to stick with some plastics here. Yeah, they did, John. There's something different about those. And they worked. Trust me, I bought some, but the color was off just a little bit. What old balsa baits do you use, Kevin? I see you're on a Wood Bait Nation. Well, Josh, I'll pull those out here in just a little bit, and I gotta watch it on that group, because when I get extra money, I'll spend it because I keep seeing that stuff. But I don't have a ton of that. So here's a great old school bait. And before we had the Yamamoto Zacho and all that crazy stuff, there was one trailer I used on a chatterbait that was really, really good. So I'm going to take this spunk shed off this one. But this was probably one of my favorite chatterbait trailers. And this bait by itself won a FLW event on Kentucky Lake. But it seems to really be forgotten about. And that is the swimming Cinco. So this was Gary Yamamoto's really first attempt to make a swimming worm or a swim bait. And turns out this thing is awesome on the back of a chatterbait. And I'll show you how I rig this thing here. What I'll actually do, I'll take this and I'll bite about that much of it off. So I've basically got this little paddle tail in. And then I just thread this thing kind of like you would thread a swim bait on the back. And I'll push it up. and unlike a Kitek, it's really, really thin back here. And that swimming Cinco will just go back and forth and back and forth. This is a great, great chatterbait bladed jig trailer. Also good on the back of a spinnerbait. Also, it's really good weightless for you guys that like to fish grass lakes and stuff. Very, very good bait. Gary Yamamoto, when he went on Kentucky Lake, he was throwing this green pumpkin swimming Cinco around laydowns. And he was catching all the same fish that guys were catching on spinnerbaits and stuff. So, and that is it on the back of a jackhammer. And I still use this as a trailer quite a bit, but it seems to be forgotten about. Is the jackhammer worth the money? In my opinion, yes. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, there is a new jackhammer coming out. And it is made of tungsten. So, it's going to, so basically that 3/4 ounce size jackhammer, the head will be smaller, and when the blade hits, it's going to make a different sound. But I think the jackhammer is worth the money. You can't convince me there's a better bladed jig on the market right now. However, I've talked to some people, and they have told me that the new Strike King Thunder Cricket is awesome. That's a good question. Someone wants to know the difference between the Project Z and a jackhammer. Well, I just happen to have one right here. Got a little trailer. Throw this in the disposable bucket. So here's the Project Z. Obviously, it's got a slip-on silicone skirt. It's got this dual layer here. And then here's the jackhammer. The biggest difference I can tell you is the head. And if you'll see, this is the jackhammer just has a snap, and this Project Z has this weird little thing it connects to right there. So I don't know if you guys can see it. This is the Project Z, and these are good baits. They're great for the money, but it doesn't thump like a jackhammer. And then the jackhammer has a split ring, and these hooks are way different. No keeper. This one's super sharp. This is just a standard hook. That's the biggest difference. And also, man, in the water, the jackhammer starts immediately. But if you're on a budget, I'll recommend, guys, the Project Z all the time. It's a great, great one. So, didn't mean to get on a chatterbait tangent. But there is a new jackhammer coming. It's going to be tungsten. And I'm really excited about the Strike King Thunder Cricket. And a lot of guys ask me, well, how do they get away with the same connection as Z-Man? Well, Strike King and Z-Man's worked together for a while. They basically got Z-Man's blessing, and Z-Man said, that's great, you can do that, but there's a few things we want you to change. And they did it, and I've heard through the grapevine, Greg Hackney says it's the real deal. Said, I've thrown jackhammers, got a box full of them, I'll be swapping them out. So, yeah, Picasso Chatterbait's pretty good too. I like it a lot. I like their big ones. Their big ones for ledge fishing are really good. So, what makes a good spinnerbait? The components all kind of look the same. What makes a good spinnerbait is if it runs true. Does it have the right amount of thickness in the wire to hold up, versus does it still give vibration? I can tell you what makes a good spinnerbait when you leave them in your bait room or in your boat and they don't rust up in a year. There's a lot of truth to that. So, let's see. What's your opinion on the Terminator Shuddering bladed jig? That's one I'm going to have to buy before I give an opinion. It looks cool. I like the Booyah Melee. I've heard that's a really good bait, actually. So, have you ever used a Mimic crankbait? Yes. And I've got one in a box I'll show you guys here in a minute. So, thoughts on swim bait on a wobblehead, which works best? I've never tried it, actually. So, I think it would be a good idea for sure. So, all right, let's get back into some more old school baits. And speaking of swim baits, I've got one right here. This is a California Swim Babes Little E. And they made another one that I've got right here. This is the Baby E. And I had a good buddy give these to me. He knew I love swim baits. And so these are some of the first real line throughs on the market. And obviously they've held up really good because they're several years old. This color right here would probably work right now very well. These were actually given to me by a guy at Fishing Kentucky Lake a lot. The bluegill colors are very desirable, but there are several guys, several swim baits inspired by the Baby E. But as you'll see, it's an old school line through design. They're weighted. It's got a lot of tail action side by side by side. Great old school swim bait right here. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate you joining, man. I'm gonna make plenty more videos. This is just a Saturday night live stream. Let's see. I'll answer a few questions, and then we're going to get into hard baits and crankbaits and stuff like that. I may even bust out my jig box tonight. I'm not sure if you can buy the Baby E. I don't think you can, but someone should probably fact check me on that. Let's see here. Did you ever throw any WC mutts? I have about 6 of them, and I hesitate to throw them because how much they're selling for. I have 0 Ed Chambers crankbaits. I would love to buy a couple to have, and I'll be honest, I want a couple to fish. So, Old Post crankbait, man. I sold a bunch of them, but I told the story about this one right here a few weeks ago. And these old Poes, they still catch them, guys. This is the original. This is the OG silent crankbait. David Fritz smashed their lights out on this thing. This is a Post 400, that color Spook. And I had a lot of success on Kentucky Lake with that thing when I was growing up. And that one in particular, I'll never sell. So, let's see here. Go answer a few more. Have you ever tried chatterbaits with a larger normal blade? Yes. The bigger the blade, the more they tend to rise up too. So, more surface area is going to push more water down. Therefore, the bait will go like that right there. Stanley Vibrashaft is a badass spinnerbait. That I wish I had a few. I've got some that don't have any skirts on them. Old school Archie jigs. Yeah, man, my buddy Randy Flowers is probably the best Archie jig fisherman you'll ever see. Thank you, Kirk. I appreciate it, man. Have you ever tried PH Custom Cranks? Yeah, I like them. Feels good, dude. Makes a great balsa baits. How much smallmouth fishing am I going to do this year? Every time I go, my goal is go fishing. I want to catch a smallmouth. Some places I go, they're not there. But hopefully this spring on Kentucky Lake, they bit last year. What was the green and purple swim bait you had on the Muddy Water video? Also, have you ever tried Gambler swim baits? Yes, I have. I like the Big Easy. That was an Ignite swim bait. And I will link their website after this video. I love dirty jigs. Love dirty jigs. Alright, let's see here. Let me go back up. Somebody, have you tried the Bass Munitions Recon Shad? I don't know what that is. Let me go look up Bass Munitions real quick on Google. I will Google that. That is a hard name to pronounce. Let's see what this company's all about. Because I've got asked, like, spammed in the comments last week. Oh, okay, so basically these people, they knock off a brush hog, they knock off a Kitech, they knock off a rage crawl, and they've knocked off a minnow scrub. So yeah, I guess I've tried Strike King baits, and I fish the rage tail stuff, so I would imagine if you like the rage tail style baits, the Bass Munition stuff is pretty good for you. It looks very similar kind of copy stuff. Oh yeah? Hold on, I gotta answer a couple questions here. That's correct, Rick. That's the problem about Poes. They don't all run true. Going to Kentucky Lake in the middle of April, what lures do you think will be working? If it's right, bring the kitchen sink and they'll bite about anything. Your traps, your brush hogs, you name it. Those are really good. Soft plastic could be the best time to flip. All right, let's see. Somebody just asked, the old Bass Pro XPS swim bait that Talk and Kennedy brought out when they discontinued because Urbanus left them in on a secret. Well, guess what, I have got something special for you. You talk about old school swim bait? There's none other than this one right here. if you were talking about it, this is the one, and I probably can't get this thing open. You guys that are on the channel that have joined know what I'm talking about. What I feel like is the greatest swim bait of all time in terms of tournament fishing and winning. And this is a fresh one. I've never opened this up. So if you've ever ordered the Babe, you know they come in these little tubes like this. So I'm going to see if our buddy that asked that question recognizes this guy right here. Golly, I can't ever get stuff open on stream. Come on. You used to open stuff for a living. Get out of here. So, I can't get the lid open. But when we're talking about old school swim baits, there's nothing better than that old XPS style swim bait right here. And this is the Babe, if you don't know what it is. I gotta have some scissors around here. I do got these pretty awesome dowel pliers. We're gonna see how good they work. So I want to show this dang bait off. My life, guys, you guys just get to watch. That's all. I'm going to have to tell my buddy Kyle that makes these, dude, it was way too hard for me to get one out of the package. Ruined my live stream. Anyway, let's see if I got one. It's not. I don't know if you guys can tell, but anyway, this is basically a replica of the Bass Pro XPS swim bait, also better known as the Babe. And this color I designed called FFJ, which means fishing for Jaints, but it's very almost translucent, but it's got like that Megabass Pro blue. Let's find my Megabass. I want to show you guys this real quick. And we'll get back to hard baits. But so this is a Megabass Pro Blue. That's one of my favorite jerkbait colors. So there is the Babe. So this one's got a little bit more purple, but I wanted to have that pro bluish look on the back, and I think Kyle knocked it out of the park, especially with those sides and a little white belly. So, but yes, whoever mentioned that bait right there, you should get on Jeopardy, because there's so many guys that kept this a secret for a long time, and then it is discontinued. But the Babe, 3ffishing.com, they'll have some more in the next couple weeks, I was told today. So, what's the best hook for the Babe? On the weedless version, I run a 10-aught owner beast hook. And if I'm going to fish ledges, you know, a Revenge XL 3/4 ounce is what I like. Yeah, dude, they sell out like within a week or two every time. So, let's see here. I'm going to go back and scroll some comments. What do you think about Zoom Trickworm? I hear it's a good bait. Dude, Zoom Trickworm is awesome. Let's see. What's your opinion about Guggen baits? Personally, I believe them when they said they didn't copy, but when you put the Slim Shake next to Zoom Trickworm or the Drag and Drop next to KVD Dream Shot. Yeah, my opinion, again, if you like Rage Tail soft plastics, you'll like Guggen baits. They'll definitely catch fish. And I have nothing against that. Obviously, what the Guggen guys have done on YouTube is awesome, and I'll be honest, I wish I could make a living on YouTube. But as far as the baits themselves, they got a lot of Strike King influence to it, and let's just be honest, Steve Parks helped those guys out quite a bit, and he's an awesome bait designer, does a lot of different things. So, you know, more props to him. But you know, I'm not going to get on here and say I think Joe Blow's custom baits are awesome, and I get on a website and it's just knocking off everybody else's stuff. And okay, they're cool because they're hand poured. So, you know, if that's the kind of thing you like, more power to you. But I'll tell you, like John Cruz told me, and I respect John Cruz. John Cruz says, if I want a Cinco, I'm going to go buy a Cinco. If I want a brush hog, I go buy a brush hog. If I want a sweet beaver, I go buy a beaver. Now, that's not saying I don't throw a big bite fighting frog or I don't throw a structure bug, because I do. but sometimes they don't want the fall of a beaver. And I think that's a big difference. But to me, a brush hog is a brush hog, whether it's hand poured or Zen pours it. So, all right, I'm going to get back here, answer some questions. What are your thoughts about new age companies? Kind of just answered that. I actually have nothing bad about favorite rods. I've got to use some of them. All right. What do you think about the man bear pig from Reaction Invasion? That's an awesome bait. Throw that thing on a wobble head. All right. Let's go here. I did not see the new swim jig pre-order. I'd like to see that from Working Class Zero. Jitterbug. Jitterbug is awesome bait. I love the jitterbug. Correct. Rage Tail Patent is on Good Packages. So, let's see. Smash Tech Poacher any good? I have not tried it. I've had a lot of guys ask me about Smash Tech swim baits. I've got that subscriber sent me the bluegill colored gizzard. Looks cool. Definitely looks cool. So, just found 3 Laser Eye XPS swim baits still in the pack. A lot of dust on them. Should I tie one on? Yes. You'll have to tie on all 3 because they don't run very good, which is why the bait was made. Sweet Beaver or Missile D-Bomb, both. When they like something that really glides, Sweet Beaver. If they want something that kind of goes straight down, and I think those bass are on the bottom, that's when I like the D-Bomb. I've caught a lot of big fish on both. I don't have any sugar shads, man. I know that's a big Terry Bolton bait. And someone said pogo shad. I like the pogo shad. I had one in my dad's tackle box. I've heard of Pepper Custom Baits. They make really good stuff, by the way. I have seen all the new live streams, Smallmouth Crush, Bass Geek, Fluke Master, but you're the best. Man, Dennis, I appreciate that. You know, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but some of you guys that follow me from Facebook can tell you I've been live streaming at least once a week for the most part for almost 2.5, 3 years now, and I really enjoy it. And I hate to say it, I don't have an ego, but I feel like I'm one of the OGs of streaming on social media. Now I know Gene has done it forever, back in the day with headphones and a laptop, and Gene's really good. But you know, I'm just doing my own thing here. All right, what about the old Rebel Crawl? So let's talk about this bait right here. I want to get back on the baits, and I'll come back and answer some questions. Like always, guys, if you want to make sure you answer my question, hit that $sign down there. Donate 99 cents or whatever. I don't really care if it's more 99 cents. And I'll make sure I come back and answer your question. But this old school Rebel Crawl, you know, this come out of my dad's tackle box, and he passed it on to me. But I remember being really little. This was the crankbait I loved to throw because it looks so realistic. And it's basically made to imitate a little crawfish scurrying across the bottom. But I caught tons of crappie on this, believe it or not. And caught a lot of smallmouth when I was growing up. And this bait got me hooked on fishing when I was little. Now, these things still work really good, especially the really small ones. I wish I could find my box these are in. It may be above my head. It is above my head. And the little small ones are great in little creeks, streams, stuff like that. Great pond bait. So that's one. You know, a lot of people like this bait right here. I believe this is a Rapala Fat Rat. So this is a great cold water crankbait. They don't make these anymore. And one thing I'll tell you on Rapala, however you want to say it, it'll tell you where they're made at on the bill. This one on the bottom of the bill says Ireland. So that one I really, really like. Have you used any of the new 6 Sense rods? I have not used the new ones. I have a Lux rod. There's a review on my website, thebaitman.com, that I have slacked on so bad. I've got to work on that thing. But these little Fat Raps are great old school baits. They can get kind of pricey in certain ones, but man, what a great bait. Speaking of Rapala, you know, we get caught up in crazy fancy paint jobs and this and that, but this is one of my favorite cold water crankbaits, and most of the guys will know, but the old Shad Rap, and especially this old shad color right there, it almost looks dull. These are the ones I like. And the old Shad Rap, I believe this is a number 5 right here, catches so many cold water bass. Rip Rap, it is an absolute killer. And I feel like sometimes this bait gets forgotten about and replaced with better casting, better looking paint jobs, baits. But at the end of the day, this thing catches fish. And I want to tell guys, go on to Ike and Ellie's channel and watch him and Brian the Carpenter. They weight these things for neutral buoyancy, and it's awesome. And it actually helps you cast a little bit. So I don't, but I will weight my Shad Raps. This one it's kind of collectible, so I don't really want to sell it or weight this one. But I'll throw up to number 9 Shad Rap. But 7's probably my favorite. Yes, I did throw some Rebel Max VRs. This one is made in Finland. Some are made in Ireland. Now, of course, the new ones I don't even know. But let's see. I'll answer a few more questions. We'll go on to jerk baits. Did I see Epic Eric's tackle collection on smallmouth? Yeah, and that guy's on my Instagram, and he is an awesome dude. Thanks, David Thomas. I appreciate the love, man. I'll answer your question here. If you got a question, type it in there. All right, I'm going to go back here. The Man's Classic Spinnerbaits are coming back. I knew that. Small Fat Rats were deadly, still deadly this time. Yeah, man. Yes, I've used Strike King Rage Blade. It's actually pretty good. I like them very well, Brett. You ever, on Kentucky Lake, do you think the man-made structures they dropped hold fish? I do think they hold fish, believe it or not. So Travis Lure, yes, I used the Roland Martin helicopter lure, and I did a commercial when I was 8 years old for Roland Martin and the helicopter lure, and I was supposed to get a copy of it. I was supposed to get a bunch of helicopter lures, all kinds of stuff. He didn't follow up with me, really hurt my feelings. Seen him at an FLW tournament when I was like 11, and told him, hey man, do you remember me? I did this for you. You're supposed to do that. And he said, oh yeah, come to my boat. I'll give you some of these new prototype spinnerbaits. And he come up there. I follow him out to his boat. And he goes, well, I got to go, son. I can't do it today. Just freaking left me high and dry on the bank. And I'll be honest, I've said it before, said it again. I like Scott. He's a great guy. But that was a dick move by Roland Martin, and I'll be honest, I'd like to leave him high and dry sometime when he needs it. I'll be honest, if he hit a stump on Kentucky Lake, needed to tow in, I would probably push him across the dam. So, that said, I respect his abilities as an angler, but you don't shit on an 11-year-old. I'm sorry. Anyway, has the knuckle bait ever placed high in a tournament? I don't know. I know what you're talking about. What bait caster reel for the budget do you like, Revo or Tatula? I would probably go with the dial with Tatula. That's my favorite. And since you said, what do you like? Yes, my favorite is a Tatula CT. You can get them anywhere from 99 to 119 bucks. Oh, I will tell you guys, if y'all want to, I'll be honest, I got on Shop Carl's the other night, which is Mystery Tackle Box's parent company. You need to go look at the price of good reels on there. You can buy a Corrado K for like 120 bucks. You can get a Daiwa Tatula for like 99 bucks. So what they do is you pay a monthly membership fee and to join Shop Carl's, and I think it's like 20 or 30 bucks. You pay that membership fee, and you get special discounts that nobody else can get. I mean, all right, let's say the membership fee is 30 bucks. The Corrado K was $179.99. You're going to get $50 back on it toward your next purchase. Dude, no brainer. So I'm going to buy a lot of stuff from Shop Carl's. So make sure you check those guys out. Thank you, James Amaro. I appreciate it. One of my favorite old school baits was the Blue Fox Foxy Jig. Ooh, yeah, I like that one quite a bit. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about you know, it is what it is. You're right, John. You know, I've been treated very well by many pro anglers, and I appreciate all of them. But sometimes, maybe Roland had a bad day. I don't know. Maybe he had to go meet up with the guys that get all the waypoints for him. No clue. But thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate the donation. I hope to do even better work. I'm trying to get to the Classic this week, and we're fixing to talk about the Bassmaster Classic. I'm glad someone said the Bomber Model A. I thought I had one on my table here, but that is my favorite pond bait. The spinnerbait with colored blades. This is the Omega Genesis TI. Gonna have to use this because it is absolutely muddy. All right, Brad, you've been asking. People have been asking about old school spinnerbaits. I've got one I don't have a skirt on right now, so I'm sorry this thing is naked. But this is the original Oldham's Cantaloupe spinnerbait. I hate to bust the Guggen's bubble that went to El Salto that fished with Mr. Oldham, and one of them commented, you'll have to get these new spinnerbaits by Mr. Oldham. It's a totally original design. Yeah, buddy, they've been out for about 35 years, and us on Kentucky Lake know about it. So Mr. Oldham was the first guy to put a screw lock on the back of his jigs and spinnerbaits. So once you put a trailer on, you kind of screwed it on there and it would stay. But really big blades. This is a big profile spinnerbait. This was made for hunting those deep ledges, and we used them a lot here on Kentucky Lake. But the problem is if the skirt comes off, you're like screwed because it's hard to get it over that screw. So I'm going to get somebody to hand tie me some skirts on this. I got like 4 of these, and they are really hard to find. I think he's back to selling them now, but that's an old school spinnerbait I really like. You know, this is a Nichols, and guys forget Kevin Van Dam used to be sponsored by Nichols Lures. So the guy that owns Nichols now, Brooks Woodward, he's an awesome dude, and this shad spawn is really, really good. I really like Nichols spinnerbaits, especially their bigger 3/4 ounce ones. I catch a lot of fish on the pulsators. Somebody said the old school mini me. Yeah, I actually got one up here. If I can find it. Where is that guy? Thought I had an old school SOB hanging up here. Maybe don't. Maybe I. Oh yeah. So somebody said SOB lures, and this is an original one from Bill D before Ryan Coleman bought it. I actually put this shad spawn skirt on it, but you see the painted blades. And what's cool about this spinnerbait, man, is that weight back there. So this spinnerbait actually weighs 3/4 of an ounce, and it's really small. So you can burn this thing. I actually throw these around the bushes quite a bit, so I get a small profile and fish it really fast. Yeah, I use a trailer, just a Zoom split tail, or I'll use like a Kitech 3/8 on the back. Yeah. Hook's still sharp. I just stuck myself. Alright, I'll answer a few more questions. Ought Defoe or Wesley Strader fantasy fishing? I'd go with Wesley. Shad Rap, I do throw my Shad Raps on spinning gear. Never heard of Limberneck. I think I remember it. Hog collar spinnerbaits are awesome. Well, PB fishing, let me tell you this. And I hate to bust people's bubble, but a lot of the components on favorite rods, you can find them on almost any other major rod brand. Daiwa Evergreen uses the same reel seats, same reel handles. The guides you can find on Dobbins. The butt caps are on the back of Dobbins rods. But that's okay. I mean, whatever. They're still good rods. I actually like the one I have. I have a Lunkers TV rod. It's pretty unique. I like it quite a bit. What was that Tennessee made small balsa crank that Ott Defoe used early in his career with bass? I would say it's probably a mimic lure. I'm not the best old school guy when it comes to stuff like that. So, all right, let's get on with some more baits. This bait gets forgot about a whole lot. This is a Smithwick original Rattling Rogue. And when the Bassmasters came to Kentucky Lake in 1992, they absolutely smashed the Jaints smallmouth on this thing right here. We learned Kentucky Lake had giant smallmouth. when Larry Nixon and Rick Clunn and Van Dam were all bringing in 20-pound plus bags of smallmouth. And this is what they were catching them on, the Smithwick Rattling Rogue. Of course, now we've got things like, you know, the 6 cents Provoke, totally different paint jobs. And then you've got the Mega Bass. But this one really kind of started it all. Where's my jerkbait box? I might have a few more I can show you that are old school. Oh yeah, it's just right above my head. So that is the normal size, and then you got, we decided, well, that size just ain't quite big enough. So then we got the big Super Rogue. And this one was custom painted by a guy named Tim Hughes. And Tim Hughes also had a balsa bait company called H&T Balsa. And you can tell what color I like. And you see these little, I have weighted this in 55-degree water to suspend perfectly. And I do throw this bait from time to time. I had a couple more, but this is my last one I got left. And there's actually in the paints a little bit of flake, but this is old school, this big rogue. Another old school jerkbait that doesn't get a lot of love anymore for some reason is the old Pointer 100 SP. So, story about the Pointer 100, obviously that's a Lucky Craft bait. They were really the first guys to, first JDM tackle company to come to the U.S. And guys were like, oh, hell no, I ain't paying $17 for a jerkbait. And when they did and caught a bunch of fish, they really kind of revolutionized bait designing. They come out with awesome colors, baits that suspended perfect, had awesome hooks, and people had to step their game up. And so because of Lucky Craft, you got companies like 6 Cents, Strike King's really upped their game in the last few years, you know, Evergreen, and lots of these JDM companies really started seeing the U.S. market. And that bait right there was a huge part of it. And I still throw the Pointer 100 quite a bit, especially this color. If they're on a shad diet, I love that Aurora Black. Let's see here. What is your PB on Kentucky Lake? And that was 8. My PB on Kentucky Lake, I've hit it twice, is 8.6. I caught one on a Bill Lewis rattle trap when I was 6 years old. The color was Lake Fork Special. I caught it off the bank. And then probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I caught another 8.6. And I actually caught that on topwater. So, and that was on a Lucky Craft Gunfish. I hear you, Brian. Is River to Sea a Korean company? I think so originally, but River to Sea has a Australia center, overseas center, and they got River to Sea USA. So the base may be in one spot, but they really have several different small branches that do all the R&D for specific areas of the world, and I'll respect that. And that lets a company take information from everywhere, because they, you know, what you get over the United States, they may not want to put in Australia. So I like River to Sea. Man, they make some good stuff. So here's another old school jerk bait, and then I'll get off the. I'll stop jerking after this one. I've been jerking it quite a while. But yeah, dad joke. But this is an Excalibur Minnow. So it's very similar to a Bomber Long A. But my Florida guys, my Okeechobee, my Harris Chain guys, they'll know about these Excalibur Long A's. They when I use this bait, I don't pause it like a Rogue or a Mega Bass. I'm kind of ripping this really fast, but these are really good baits, and you don't see them very much anymore. But they have the sharpest treble hooks known to man. I really wish they still made those dadgum treble hooks. I love the Excalibur trebles. They're super sharp. But now this is just my old school jerkbait box in here. I don't have anything really too crazy that I haven't showed you. I thought I had something else, but I don't. I've got to get another jerkbait box. I got to put all these in there. So, old school baits. How about an old school Shimano tackle box? How about that? Let's see. I'll answer a few more questions here, and we'll get on with a few more baits. What's up, Bill Hamilton? My buddy Bill. Me and Bill are the window men. He's way better at making windows than I am, I'll be honest. Let's see. It is the bomber with the fancy finish. You're right, Josh. Most of the Excalibur stuff, when the Excalibur first came out, it was just in a black package, and it said Excalibur, and it wasn't like the Windknocker stuff. But it was basically bomber baits, and they put better hardware on it and better paint finish. But all was made by Pradco Outdoor Brands. Please flash the Purple Rogue again and confirm name of it. All right, I'll flash you my Purple Rogue. That is a Smithwick Super Rogue, and these are the original one. This is in a plastic bait. It is old school. This is, and they say it's suspending out of the package, but obviously I had to tune that. And that was painted by Tim Hughes, custom painted. So, all right, let's see. So many baits and knowledge. Man, I wish I had more baits. I was hoping the tax man would treat me right because I was gonna go ham at Tackle Warehouse, but we'll see. Thank you, Fish Freak. I appreciate it. Old Falcon tackle box. Man, I'm glad you said something because I've got one up here with some old school jigs in it. Let's see if I can reach this. Y'all might see me fall. Whew. Hope y'all didn't see my crack because my jeans are about to fall down. This is a my old school Randy's jig box, and his Falcon Rods used to make these boxes, and they're awesome, and they're really hard to find. And I've got a latch that's come off, but there's some old school jigs up in here. Let's see if I can find. There we go. There is one I've used. This is old school as it gets. This is an Archie Style Jig. Now, this one's got a special hook. It's got an O'Shaughnessy style hook in it. This is made for stroking. So this is what I used out deep. And by stroking, I mean we throw it out there, let it fall to the bottom, and then we whip the rod out real high, and this thing goes whoop, and then it comes down. And that is a big. So Dirty Jigs, Lloyd Clawson casting jig was inspired by this right here. And it's just the basic Archie style Stanley jig, but this hook, and I opened mine up just a little bit, is the deal. But I love these old Falcon boxes, man. I've got a bunch of good stuff in here. If I got anything else old school. Holly's dang. Someone said Pepper's baits earlier. Here's a Pepper's jig I put a custom skirt on. I really like those. I'm a big fan of light wire hooks on football jigs. So that's old school. Everybody's going to tuna hooks. I like light wire hooks. It was not living rubber. Let's see here. What else have I got in here? I might have some old Omega jigs in here. Let's see. I don't have too many old. So yeah, here's an old school jig. Everyone kind of forgot about this company. This is probably one of the original finesse jig companies. This is an Akins finesse jig. Really small. They're really the first company to mass produce these ball head jigs to the public. And I'll be honest, I've met Jim Akins several times, and he's a super, super nice guy. And I really like their football jigs too. So that's an old school bait. I use a little bitty tiny packet crawl on there, or a baby rage crawl. Some guys use the Akins crawl, and those work too. But you know, when I go trailers on these things, I go really small crawls. Do you know about Pepper spinner blades? I've heard they're really good. Heck yeah, Mike, I appreciate it. Is the Baitman Color 6 cents bait ready for sale? I will email Casey. If you get, I don't know if you guys saw that Casey painted me up a special Jaints juice colored square bill. I'm gonna see what he wants to do with it. I know for that to be a mass-produced color, he'd have to sell hundreds of them. But I think what he may do is custom paint a couple dozen that are hand painted by Casey, and there'd be something you can collect or whatnot, and that'd be awesome. When is Dirty Jigs coming back out? Very soon. I've talked to Kirk. I'm getting a big care package from Dirty Jigs pretty soon. Can't wait to guys to show you some new stuff. I'd buy the jank juice for sure. Absolutely. So let's see what else. In fact, I got an old school jig in here. Man, this must be like my Archie style box. I don't see any football heads in here. Um, has to be. Y'all know, y'all guys that's watched my live streams before, I don't like talking jigs. I keep it really simple. But when I learned to jig fish before, and I was probably like 14 years old, I really didn't know jack. This was my favorite jig, and turned out it's still a great jig, but I kept losing fish on it, and my buddy said, well, dude, that's a flipping jig. And I was like, oh. And this is one of my favorite flipping jigs. This is the ultimate rattling jig by, I believe, Lunker Lure. So what makes this jig awesome is back here by the hook, there is shrink wrap. And my guys in Indiana, Marty Sisk, Larry Sisk, all those guys, John Hensley probably knows about this. They love that ultimate rattling jig. It absolutely is the real deal. So one thing you'll notice that weed guard's really short. I made it that way because they come a really long weed guard. So I will trim it and spread it out. And on the back, the best trailer I found on this jig is just a Zoom super chunk. Nothing crazy. You flip it in the bush. This Texas crawl color is really good. They make a brown and amber one. Those are my favorites. What is my favorite chatterbait trailer? Honestly, I throw a Yamamoto Zacho a lot. Before that, I said earlier, I used, this was my favorite back in the day, which is the Yamamoto Swimming Cinco. But I pretty much use the Zacho, and I'm going to be throwing that Hog Farmer Spunk Shad on the back of them too. I really like that. So I got a few OG warts. I don't keep them here because they are new in the box, and I leave them at my parents' house in their safety deposit box because I don't want to somehow forget about them. And I got like blue craw and a couple phantom craws in there. Cotton Cordell Big O is the best old school lure in my opinion. They are well known here in the Northeast for smallmouth. You mean this guy right here? So this is a Cordell Big O, and that's an original one. My buddy Chris here, he bought these, and I got to ship them to him, so he's going to get a little bit of old school legacy to him. So let's see. Do you throw jerk baits on mono or fluorocarbon? I use 10-pound K9 fishing line, and this K9 is fluorocarbon, but it has a little bit of stretch to it. It's kind of like a copolymer. It's a mix, and their 10-pound is really thin diameter, but it's strong. And that's what I like throwing my jerkbait on. I like a little bit of stretch in it. So, ever used the OP70 pop bars? Yeah, of course. Old Craig Powers is a good dude, man. Good dude. I think life happened to Craig, and he just got out of bass fishing. But Craig is a cool dude, and he's engineered some awesome baits. So let's see. I got some old Bass Pro package spinnerbaits. Yeah, the Bass Pro Tornado spinnerbait. That's a rare one. They go for like $60 on eBay. So, Matt had some Onum hats to sell. You'll have to get on Facebook, look up Matt Robertson Onum. He had them for sale. What is your favorite soft plastic? I've said it. I said it earlier. If I had one bait to throw, it'd be this one right here, the plum ringworm. That's my favorite soft plastic. So, let's see here. So, this bait just don't get a lot of love no more. These two baits right here. So this is an original Yamamoto single tail grub, and this is the double tail grub. All with swim baits and creature baits and big worms and robo worms. No one really talks about the grub or the double tail grub. All you gotta do is put them on a jig head and go fish it, and they'll bite these things. I mean, in the wintertime, early spring, it used to be hard to beat these grubs, just fishing down deep points or stuff like that. And then the double tail grub, dude, these are so OG to put on a football head jig. And just guys don't do it a whole lot anymore. But still catches them. And I'm guilty of it. I have these baits sit up there and I know they catch fish and I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to go put on the new Reaction Innovations, monkey flipper bait and that'd be a great trailer. Or I could go, oh yeah, I forgot, I can just put a double tail grub on the back of a football jig. Um, but man, these still catch fish. Great swim jig trailers too. Um, so I got my butt kicked the first and only Costa Series event I fished. A guy named Robbie Dodson caught 15 pounds of largemouth in 5 casts swimming a white Yamamoto grub on Rip Rap. It was absolutely amazing. The shad were spawning, and he caught them every cast just like that. And I threw a spinnerbait behind him, and I caught about a 5-pound smallmouth that came off. And I said, when it's your day, it's your day. And he actually complimented me and said, dude, that was a huge fish. The biggest one I've seen here. This is the only way I figured out how to catch them was swimming a grub. And he said it was something they did a lot on the Ozark and Table Rock lakes. And I stayed out of his way all day. And we had a good time. Robbie was a great guy to fish with. And I learned something. And guess what? After the tournament, I went back and I did some grub swimming on real light line. I think he used like 8-pound monofilament on a spinning rod and smoked them. Yeah, Matt Allen loves Yamamoto, and I'll be honest, I wish I had more Yamamoto stuff. I really like their creature baits too. So, best hair, Scott Martin or Bryce Harper or Preacher Jig? I'm going to go with the Preacher Jig. Has the best hair. Tail down or up on grub? I like my tail down. Where are you from? I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I got a friend there in Cleveland. His name's Machine Gun Kelly. You ever heard of him? I'm just kidding. I don't know MGK. But I am from West Kentucky. I actually live on Kentucky Lake here. Got my first diver reel yesterday. Went with the new Tantula 150. Took it for a spin. 1 hour later, all my old reels were up for auction. My first child sold. Dude, I love the diver reels. I could use what I want. I love Shimano reels too. Right now, I'm loaded down with Daiwas, and I have been very happy with them, and I'm going to continue using them. But I'm also going to buy some other reels just to switch things up, and that way I can give you guys an honest opinion of everything. Because if all I've got is Daiwa, that's going to be really hard for someone to say, hey, man, do you like to lose magnesium? Well, I don't have one, so thank you, Timmy. I really appreciate that. Now, if the time ever comes when this company says, hey, dude, we're going to stroke you a $20,000 check and you can use all our products, but you have to be exclusive, I will let you guys know that, and I'll be transparent about it. But I would only do it if they would allow me to review and use other competitors' products to give an honest opinion. So, I seen one guy, what is the best casting rods, best rod and reel setups you can buy, and it was all one brand. And I almost threw up. It was awful. And I'm not going to be that guy. Tactical Bassin, I respect their opinion. If they said, man, if you will get a chartreuse color turd and you will run a jig skirt down the middle and hook a trailer hook to it, I would say, yeah, that catches fish. Because, proof is in the pudding. And what I respect about Matt and Tim, they come up and say, we're not tournament fishermen. We'll fish tournaments, but we do this for a living. We spend 400 days of a year on the water, and that's how it goes. And I really respect that. Very transparent. So, let's see. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, man. Falcon old school. You calling me old bro? Dude, I love Falcon rods back in the day. Let's see. The Falcon Lizard Dragger 2 was the first high-end rod I ever bought. And then I bought an All-Star. I really like that old Falcon rod. American-made stuff, too. All right. Look at the Ultimate Rattling jigs. Talk about hard to replace a skirt on. Tom, they are. I love them, but it's hard to get a new skirt on there. Opinion on Lucky Tackle Box? MTB or LTB? I'm with Mystery Tackle Box right here. And I'll be honest with you. I used to be with Lucky Tackle Box. And long story short, Nothing changed there. I was just approached by MTB, and they offered me something a little bit different. And I went with them, and I got to start making creative content for Mystery Tackle Box. I've really slacked on that, so MTB, Eli, you're watching, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and unbox this while we're talking about it really quickly. I just got this in yesterday, but you do get some good baits in here from time to time. So first thing, I got a Booyah Bankroll Jig. This box is like 29 bucks. If you ever want an MTB box for new subscribers, just click my link. Helps me out, and you'll save some money. Booyah Bankroll Jig. I actually have some of these. They're a good jig. I love that color, that Okeechobee crawl color. They call that Lights Out. So that's a good bait. Oh man, dude, straight up Lucky Craft square bill in the box here. I love the 6 cents boxes too, man. You know, I'm going to work with MTB on the mixed boxes, and 6 cents Baitman Box will be my design. So I don't want to conflict anything there. But dude, that color's called Rayburn. Flake Rayburn Red. Yeah, Flake Rayburn Red Crawl. And if you don't think I don't already use that bait, because I love this color. This is one of the best colors I've found for clear water in the spring. All you got to do is look at this square bill box right here, because I'm about to pull another one out right there. So there's the RTO 1.5 in that color. I really like for that. Dude, I love tubes. I don't know what's happened. I had a big thing of tubes, and I wanted to talk about tubes on here. So, but I really think I just need to do a full video about tube fishing. There's a lot of questions to answer. So, you know, these used to be 15 bucks, but now Lucky Craft has gone down. This is actually the LC 1.5 SSR for super skinny water. I'm going to throw that in my box. I like that one. So, what else we got? Some Katana Nico hooks. Can't go wrong with that. A sticker. I'll give this to my little girl. Don't care about that. This is the Cinco Offspring Buzzbait, and I'll just be honest with you. It's a cool design, cool concept. There was a lot of... I don't want to get in the middle of this. There was a lot of animosity about this because supposedly another guy had already designed this, and then Cinco comes out with it. I'm not going to take sides on it. It's a cool buzzbait from everybody. Told me about it. It is what it is. Cinco makes some pretty decent stuff, so that's an okay bait. Again, I'm not into knocking people off, so this is pretty cool. This is a tungsten belly weight. So let's check this out. Let's see, this is actually made by the Catch Company, called the Flashbang. That's an 1/8 ounce with 3/0 hook. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that Cinco buzzbait, it has a little thing that sticks out, kind of like a head knocker deal. That wire sticks out and bangs the blade. But I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan. I've never used it. I like a War Eagle buzzbait. Those are like my favorite. But this is cool. This is for swim baits. Let me grab a little swim bait real quick. We'll get us a little Kitech, rig this thing up. This is one of my favorite ways to fish a swim bait around grass, around boat docks. I like these little flash blades. So whether it's an owner or this Catch Company brand, these belly weighted hooks, all you gotta do is take your screw, push it in through the top. I like that they put a big screw on this thing right here. And then you always want to make sure this thing is going at the right angle. So just doing your little Kitech there, go out the bottom, come out the top, expose it. Oh yeah, that's great. Rigged it up just like so. Dude, pond guys, that would absolutely smash them in a pond. So I like that. That's cool. That's unique. Stuff I probably won't use, I'll be honest. Biobait leeches. Looks cool. I'm not going to use it. The fish hui lures. This is, what in the world we got here? Alright, so some of you guys are going to say Ned rig. You know what I would do with this thing? I bet you could put that on the back of a scrounger. And this thing would be crazy, but that's pretty cool looking. Something I normally wouldn't buy, but that's what's in the MTB box this month, and there's actually some pretty cool stuff in there. And oh yeah, a pack of bobber stops. So, hey, it is what it is. I like getting new baits every month. Some of them I'll use, some of them I'll never use. But man, the terminal was good. Nico hooks, swim bait hooks. I'm gonna probably get some of these tungsten things. So you can get all this stuff on shopcarls.com, which is Mystery Tackle Box's company. Again, they offer a membership subscription. It's like X amount of money a month, like 20 or 30 bucks, but you get major discounts on tackles. I think I've seen where you can buy like Strike King 1.5s for like $4.99, Corrados for 120 bucks. Some will say instant discount and some will say credit. So the credit, so you get $50 off your rod and it's a credit. The next time you purchase on Carl's, you get that credit account. And that's just because of MAP policies and stuff like that. But if it's an instant rebate, Carl's price, that money's off right then. Dude, you can save some big money on Shop Carl's. So, but that's the MTB box for this month. And thanks again, Mystery Tackle Box, for taking care of the Baitman. And I'll be bringing y'all some videos coming up on MTB's channel, hopefully. So, whoa. Thank you, Timmy. I like the underspin, but I have problems with blades rusting. Yes, everybody does. Spinnerbaits, bladed owner hooks, stuff like that. I put some Rust Easy in my Bass Mafia box, in my terminal box, all the time. Yeah, man, I like the 6 cents pegs. 6 cents got a lot of stuff. So I'm going to work on the new Baitman box. I talked to Casey. Got about a week and a half left of the Baitman box on 6 cents website. And then I'm going to transition into stuff for late spring. The end of April, May. Yeah. That is my neighbor's cat, and this sucker is in heat. And it really pisses me off. But anyway, I'm going to go back and answer a few questions. Can you buy Uncle Josh pork trailers anywhere? Dude, I can't find them anywhere. And I used to love the number 11 at night on the back of a night spinnerbait, black and blue. That was my favorite. I love the grass burner. I did a video about the grass burner buzz bait. It is legit. Big profile, very subtle, and I love that treble hook on it, dude. Really don't like to talk about it because tore them up this year on it quite a bit. And let's see. Let's just say there's a lot of buzz about it. Snack Daddy tubes. Dude, I need to get some. They are great. One of my favorite tubes out there. I'm headed to the Classic, looking to purchase a good spinning rod for finesse fishing. Any recommendations? Yeah, head to McKee Outdoors booth. Go check those guys out. He's going to have some great deals on some PAL, Shimano, and some Loomis spinning rods and more stuff. So, man, we have streamed for an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you guys for the donation. That is not my cat, and I promise I will take care of it. Corrado DC or Corrado K? Personally, I'm going to go with the Corrado K normally. I love the DC. If I'm going to fish small finesse baits, if I'm going to skip, I'm going to go DC. Normally, if I'm bombing rattle traps, if I'm bombing soft plastics, jigs, Corrado K. You're going to get just a little bit more distance. But you're also going to get more resistance when you throw into the wind. I like the Corrado K. Great, great, great reel. Sean Z, feed the cat. Thank you, Sean. That is my neighbor's cat, but I'll go give them 10 bucks and say, please buy this cat some food. I thought it was my little girl at first, but my little girl don't cry like that. So I would like to play with the new Megabass Levante. I'll show you a grass burner. Well, I thought I had one up here. Maybe I don't. I don't know what I done with it. It looks ridiculous. And when I first said it, I said, yeah, there ain't no way. And then when I watched my fishing partner go, yeah, watch this, and like fourth cast caught a 5-pounder, and it just absolutely crushed it. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Picasso or Z-Man Chatter. I'll just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm gonna fish really, really deep, I do like that big shock blade. For the most part, I'm gonna bypass both, and I'm gonna bite the bullet and throw a jackhammer. If I can't get a jackhammer, I'll probably throw a Z-Man. But I'm really excited about the Strike King Thunder Cricket. Really excited. Shimano Sitica used to be a really good reel, so I think the Shimano SLX basically replaced the Sitica. At $99, it's a great reel. Really like it. Magnum Nico, oh yeah, I do some Magnum Nico rigging, and I'll be bringing some of that stuff to you. Jake Lawrence is the godfather around here of Magnum Nico rigging. So, hear anything about 6 Cents new rods? Yeah, I think sometime in July they're going to be out. I'm going to see if I can't get them to send me one to try out. I love my Lux rod I got. I wish I'd got a little bit longer one, a little bit stiffer, but I really like this 7-1 medium heavy. I can do a lot of things with that. I feel like it's going to be an awesome spinnerbait rod. It's a great swim jig rod for me. So I really like it. Quality components, and you know the Milliken fishing rods will be out too, and I'll have to grab one of those as well. Maybe if this channel will blow up big enough, maybe we'll get a Baitman series rods. Who knows what we'll do. I have 2 jumbo jars of pork, and I just found cleaning out the cave. True survivors. That pork will live like a cockroach. I'm pretty sure in a nuclear blast, your Uncle Josh will still survive. Oh, I wanted to... Oh, Shimano X Prides is really good. Yes, I have heard of 6 gill rods, and I'll be honest with you, I would stay away. I'm not here to bash anybody's product, but 6 gill, Cast King, all this stuff is all made in the same factory. It's all called Doyo, and it's all watered down. Now, if that's what you can afford, that's fine. I'll never hate on anybody saying, well, you know, I can't afford $99 rods, so I have to look for better deals. And that's absolutely fine. Stream. But I'm just not a fan of the 6 gill stuff. It just feels really cheap and mass produced. Let's see. But Shimano X Pride, light, sensitive, and a great backbone. I really like it. So. But one of my other favorite soft plastics, and I'm fixing to have to jump off here. We'll talk about the Bassmaster Classic too. This is a Zoom Super Hog. So there was the Brush Hog, and then there was the Z Hog, but kind of got lost was the Super Hog, and it really started out as a punching bait. But I have found out when it gets really tough, and I'll give credit where it's due. My buddy Chad Porter, I doubt he's watching this, but he started Carolina rigging this and jacking them. Is Abu Lou's BPS reels all the same? They are Doyo. Yes. But I don't want to knock anybody. These companies still get to influence how they're designed, but they're all made in one factory. But, you know, Lou's doesn't get the same parts that Abu does or same design. They bounce them off. But I like Lou's reels. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with Abu reels. Or Bass Pro reels. I know guys that really like them. I think the high-end Lou's are really nice, and the $99 reel is great. So, but they do come in one place in China, and some are also made in Korea. Nothing wrong with that though. Personally, you know, Shimano and Daiwa are the only real companies that have their own plant, own people designing their own stuff. But you know what? Obviously, Lou's got something right because most of the reels are pretty top notch. I don't have nothing to say bad about them. What's up, Andrew? Do you think Loomis now is as good as the real G Loomis of old? Yeah, absolutely. And I think in some ways the rods are better than their old ones. I think what happened is so many other companies caught up to their technology. People are like, oh, Loomis ain't as good. Well, they didn't have a lot of people building rods nearly as good as they were, you know, 30, 40 years, or 15, 20 years ago. Now, you got Dobbins, even Daiwa. Let's see, who else makes Powell, Edge Rides, TFO, Kistler. Those are all really good rods. A lot of competition. So, who makes the thickest Cinco? Go to a website called MagnumBaits.com. They make a big, thick Cinco. And the only one that likes the Bowhog Pork Frog from Strike King better than Uncle Josh. Now, you're talking old school, Dustin, with the glitter in it and everything. I know a lot of guys that like that. Let's see. I'm going to try to go to the Classic. Yes, I'm still going, Jack. I've got to jump off here. So let's talk about Classic picks real quick. And then I'm going to have to get off here. Yes, I have tried it, Nick, and it is awesome. So, yeah, Chris, Hammer rods are great. American company made here in Tennessee, Alabama. You guys might want to check Hammer out. They make some good cranking rods. Yeah, I'm really upset about the Jackal Aska, but man, I wish I had. I got to find more baits. We're going to do a part 2 old school baits as well, and we'll try to target it more toward plastics and stuff. I've used St. Croix; they're great rods. So, all right, I'm going to lay off the questions. Let's talk about Bassmaster Classic real quick. My homer pick is Matt Robertson, Kentucky Lake guy, Tennessee River specialist. This tournament is on the Tennessee River. I'd love to see Matt do really, really well, if not win it. Obvious pick is going to be Wesley Strader. Wesley has lots of experience East Tennessee fishing, lots of experience on those waters. It's probably the most obvious pick. But Wesley has been on a roll lately. It's not just a pick because, it's his home water. But Wesley has been doing really good, whether it's MLF, won an Elite Series event last year. He's got good momentum. So Wesley, and then my other kind of obvious pick is going to go with Kevin Van Dam. And the reason I'm going to pick Van Dam is because with Major League Fishing, this may be his last Classic for a while. If Major League Fishing takes off, it may be the last one he fishes. And there's just no way you can count Kevin Van Dam off on a pre-spawn event on the Tennessee River where a jerkbait might be a player. So, Kevin Van Dam, Matt Robertson, Wesley Strader. Now let's talk about dark horse picks. These are a couple guys that not everybody is talking about. Somebody named one of them was Seth Fighter. I think Seth's a really good pick. That area of the lake, the smallmouth, if they start running, Seth would be a guy that I wouldn't want to bet against. Really good fisherman, especially in cold waters. It is Ott stomping grounds. I feel like there's so many people talking about Ott, it's going to put too much pressure on him. But I could see him winning it. But if Mullins was in the Classic, he would be my pick. I love David Mullins. He's an awesome guy. So my other pick, man, it's hard not. I like Jordan Lee. I respect the crap out of him. It's hard to bet against him. But my last pick is last year's Bass Rookie of the Year. His name is Jake Whittaker. You may not have ever heard him, but Jake is kind of in that old South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia guy mold that grew up fishing cold water, cranking, fishing for spotted bass and stuff like that. Very used to some deep spring fishing. Jake hasn't won an event, but something tells me this could be a Classic he does really, really good in. And I could be totally off base, but I think he's got tremendous angling ability. It's a name nobody's talking about, and he could be in the top 10 the first day, and people go, wow, who is this guy? So that's my last pick. That's Jake Whittaker. You're not going to see a lot of guys pick him, and I feel cool about that. I think he's a good dude, and he's a good fisherman, and we'll see. I should have started a Baitman Fantasy League. So, which structure do you think will play the biggest part during the Classic? I don't know those areas really well, but I will give bonus points if you can flip a jig off Neyland Stadium. Actually, that area is really good from what I heard. I don't know anything about the Edge rods by Gary Loomis. I would love to because I they've been following me on Instagram, and I would love to get one in my hands. Jason Christie. Jason Christie, I think, is retired from FLW. He didn't get to fish Okeechobee. I'm going to try really hard to go to the Bassmaster Classic. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I've been saying I was going to go, but I'm going to try. Man, I'll just be honest. I got a lot of things going on here at home. I've been working a lot, and man, I'll just be honest. I'm dang near broke, so we'll see. And if I go to the Classic, you'll be able to find me at the Angler booth, or you'll find me Mr. Tackle Box, and then I'm just going to walk around and do some vlogging. So if I get to go, expect an awesome vlog from the Classic. So, but guys, I'm going to jump off here. Hour and a half, longest stream I've done in a long time. So let me know. We'll see if we can't get a Tackle Tuesday in this week. If not, I got some other content from the pros. I got another video, some videos of Brad Knight and Terry Bolton up. I know those don't get as many views, but you know, Strike King Luz was happy enough to let me come and film some videos. So I'm going to put those up, and maybe you learned something. Maybe you see a product you wouldn't have bought otherwise. I'll let those guys talk about Luz and Strike King. They know it better than I do. So let me know in the comments. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And thank you guys so much. Enjoy it every Saturday night. And we're going to go on here. Thanks, Jack. You guys have a good one. God bless you all. And remember, 6centsfishing.com. Use the code Baitman anytime for 10% off. MTB link in the bottom. I'll link Shop Carl's as well. And you know, support those that support me. Strike King, Big Bot Baits, Spro. Those are the guys. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening.